New day, new verse. I thought we could dig into verses 21 through 22. Let's dig in. If God didn't think twice about taking pruning shears to the natural branches, why would he hesitate over you? He wouldn't give it a second thought. Make sure you stay alert in these qualities of gentle kindness and ruthless severity that exist side by side in God. Ruthless with the deadwood, gentle with the grafted shoot. But don't presume on this gentleness. The moment you become deadwood, it's game over. And I've been thinking about this with the idea of confrontational Jesus, that Jesus will get right into it with us, and that God doesn't let us pull that crap. And it made me start thinking about those wrestling moments, that, the struggle that I think we have in Western culture of the, well, I have to be perfect then. And, Jesus does make a bit of a crack at that, admittedly. I may not be reading, my reading of it, when Jesus lists all this, okay, go ahead, be perfect. I don't think that was Jesus saying, like, be perfect or be gone to hell, that some groups will use it as. I think it was Jesus making fun of the concept that we seem to think in any way, shape, or form that we can be perfect of our own accord or of our own doing. And it's like, it's impossible to do this. That's the point. It is not about the being perfect, it is about the being perfected. And it makes me think often about the fact that Isra'el, his name means God wrestler. Jacob, who was changed to Israel, who's father, used to bless so many of those 12 tribes. It's God wrestler. And I think that when we're called Israel, when he calls his people Israel, it's not a matter of bloodline. Paul would argue that quite proficiently. That it's not about the shoots, because we're the new shoots, the Gentiles are the new shoots, the people who choose to embrace him fully. They're the new shoots. That it's not about getting it perfect. It's about letting us grow. And it gets into the imagery of he is the vine and we are the branches. That God says he pruned us already when we accepted him as our Savior, and that he'll continue to prune us, continue to grow us, continue to enrich us, and continue to teach us. That we can learn, and that we can grow, and that we surrender to him, that we are able to enjoy being with him. Because the wrestling, though painful, is a good thing. Jacob was renamed because he wouldn't let go. And the only reason that he got that out of the entire match is because he was hip checked. His hip was thrown out. And it's like, okay, so if sometimes we wrestle to the point where we cause ourselves a bit of injury, or he puts us through something that we take to let us reach deeper, that we're given, we receive it more than take. My apologies, grammar there. But we're given these opportunities to wrestle with him. And that's a beautiful thing. And it staggers me as a bit of fun that the Hebrew idea of prayer isn't the same idea, or the Israelite idea of prayer is not the same as Western prayer. Western prayer, please, thank you, begging, Lord, do this. And Hebrew prayer is the idea of getting together and wrestling with this idea. That a small group is closer to that, this wrestling with God, that it's letting those things out. And that's a beautiful thing to me. That the truest idea of what it is to wrestle with. So when we get to this verse about God being harsh with the deadwood, well, yes, he is. The question is, are we deadwood? And I think that if you're wrestling with God, truly wrestling, and truly want him to be the one that directs you, even if it's difficult, even if you struggle. Back to the verse where Jesus asking the Pharisees, there are two brothers, father has two sons. He says, one, go do this. The son says, I don't want to, but goes and does it anyway. The second son says, sure, I would absolutely love to do it, and then never bothers doing it. Which one actually did it? Well, the first son. And so it strikes me that if the first sibling, the one who eventually doesn't get it, if they're the one doing what they're told, then wrestling with God looks sometimes like that, I don't want to, okay, I'll do it. That we can have those wrestling moments. So if you're having one of those wrestling moments, if you're having those questions of am I still going, am I still digging, I don't think you're deadwood. And I think it is one of those twists of God's sense of humor that kind of if you're sane enough to ask the question whether or not you're insane, you're not. If you're focused enough on God to ask the question, God, am I wrestling with you? Or God, am I following you? God, am I deadwood? You're not. Because the deadwood doesn't care. It just simply waits to fall off. Here is to tomorrow, where we can dig into verses 23 through 24. I will see you guys then.